Hello everybody, Luke Schulte, Field Agronomist for Beck's Hybrids. Today we're talking about what are some of those adjustments we can make to the combine to ultimately produce a cleaner, a more vomitoxin-free sample at harvest. Unfortunately, we've got a fall like many experienced in 2022. We've seen some gibberella ear mold in the corn that's resulting in some mycotoxins, or more specifically, vomitoxin in the grain. Now, for the sake of this video, we're not going to discuss necessarily why that occurred. That had much to do with the weather, specifically humidity we had throughout July, August, some pollination factors, as well as we're seeing some hybrid differences. But today we just want to discuss what can we do from a combine standpoint at a field level to ultimately lower that vomitoxin level within that finished grain sample. We know the majority of those mycotoxins, the vomitoxin, resides in the fines and the beeswings. So Tyler's going to discuss some of the things that we can do from a combine standpoint to ultimately reduce the volume of those two components to our finished grain sample. With me today is Tyler Schindel. Tyler is our PFR location lead here at London. So not only does he have an extensive amount of experience setting in the combine up in specific situations, but he's also a farmer. So he set a combine up, much like you, to try to achieve different outcomes in a lot of different situations, and we've learned some things along the way to ultimately reduce the volume of the fines and the beeswings within that finished sample. Tyler, what have we learned?
Yeah, so obviously when we're trying to reduce the fines in our sample, one of the first places we go is up to the concave. So to really reduce the amount of grinding we have on that corn, what we're going to do is we're going to open our concave up a little bit. We're also going to slow our rotor down just a little bit and hope that we're not grinding any, we're not busting the tips of them kernels off, and we're keeping them mostly intact. Now, after we do that, because we know we can only go so far before we start throwing it out on the cob behind the combine. So what we're going to do is we're going to start looking at perforated screens. Now, what type of perforated screens are we looking for? Well, we're looking to put a perforated screen on our clean grain elevator, but then also on our return elevator. Now, by putting them perforated screens, it's going to drop them fines out of there. And by dropping the fines out, hopefully the vomitoxin is going to come out with it as well. One key thing to keep in mind is when we get in corn in higher moisture situations, 25 or higher, those perforated screens can really start acting like a cheese grater. That's going to produce more fines. So there's really a certain type of situation when those really end up working out. Now, another thing, some models of combine, underneath here, the auger that goes up to the clean grain elevator, you can put a perforated screen there too. I'm not sure exactly which all those are available for, but that's also an option you can consult your dealer for. Now, once we do that, the next step we're going to do is we're going to come back to our sieves. So if we really want to kind of hone in and even drop more fines out of there, we got that back 16 to 18 inches on the top Schaefer sieve, right? What we're going to do is we're going to close that completely down. What happens when you close that completely down is it's going to force more air to go up through the midsection and the top section of that sieve, and then we're going to crank our air up too. By doing that, are we going to lose a few kernels out the back? Yes, we are. But them small kernels, them light kernels, those are the ones that are usually the most infected. So just by taking these setups and doing this, it's going to help hopefully lower the vomitoxin that you're going to carry into the elevator.
Yeah, thanks, Tyler. So Tyler talked about some things that we've learned through our combine adjustments to ultimately reduce the volume of fines and beeswings. In front of you, we also got some suggestions, some tips you might think about for the grain that's already in storage that you maybe saw some gibberella ear mold. You don't maybe perhaps know, is there mycotoxins or is there vomitoxin, but some things to maybe apply to that stored grain, as well as what to think about as you're starting to haul that grain out. So that hopefully you can have the cleanest sample, the most vomitoxin-free sample as it starts to reach the elevator. So as always, if you have questions around this topic or any other, just give us a call. Thanks for tuning in. Have a great day.